welcome to another episode of Asexualized, my asexual life. This is a place to be for education about asexuality, all things asexual, and I share my own asexual life journey in order to help you in yours. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the great subscribe button below right here, right now. Please hit that bell icon to get notified of every time I go live like now or post a new video. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if the content enjoyable, helpful in any way, shape or form, or you just want to give this channel some love. I really appreciate every one of the thumbs up. It's really important. And if you don't know who I am Sandra Bellamy, author of this beautiful book. Hello, nice to see you. Skados, nice to see you. I'm author of this beautiful book, Asexual Perspectives, 47 Asexual Stories, Love, Life and Sex, A Celebration of Asexual Diversity. Hello, Sam, lovely to see you. I'm also the author of Fibromyalgia Self-Help Handbook. How to manage fibromyalgia to have less pain, more energy, and feel happier like a superhero rock star. And this is an awesome book if you've got depression and anxiety as well, because it's got loads of practical help and advice, even if you don't have fibro, on how to combat depression and reduce your anxiety. So yeah, you might know now that in chat Sam is actually a moderator as well. So there's not just me moderating anymore. So that's really good news for the channel. And yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about how to self-love more and be more happier in your life. So let's crack on. So I've made some quick notes here in case I miss anything out. Oh yeah, Sam, thank you so much. So I had an amazing Skype chat, by the way, with my best friend Sam, who's the moderator now as well, tonight. So it's amazing, really incredible. And one of the things I would say actually about self-loving more and being happier in life is to be around people who support you, who are positive about you, and who really do want to spend quality time with you. And, you know, you just feel really so much friendship, love and support from that person. Obviously, that's what Sam does for me, you know. I feel so happy to have positive, upbeat friends that care about me, that are supportive, that listen to me, and that I enjoy doing that back for them as well. And part of loving yourself is having loving people around you. They don't have to be saying I love you, but you just feel like you're loved by them, if you know what I mean, just by the way they speak to you, by their presence, by them, you know, being present. I think that's really important, to have people who are present for you. You know, when I was, thank you, Sam. I appreciate that, and vice versa. Because when Sam was speaking to me, I felt they were very present for me. Yeah, they were listening to what I said attentively. They were very present for me, very interactive, very attentive, and backwards and forwards conversation. It was really good. The time flew by. I didn't realize we were on there for over 4 hours. Yeah, time just flies by when you're having really good conversation. So it was really pleasurable experience. And you know, it's very important as a self-love thing and to be more happy in life to have really supportive people, right? You need to have people who are supportive in your life, who you can talk to. So part of self-love is actually having people who love you and care about you in your life, right? So, and being happier is having people who care and love you in your life. You know, it's not easy to get that always. It took me a long time in my life to be able to get that. But the other bit to that part of self-love is to get rid of the toxic people and negative people in your life. The people that bring you down, the people that are saying horrible, negative stuff, the people, you know, who just don't value your worth, the people who aren't, you know, Ray, I always support you when I'm free. Laugh out loud. Oh yeah, Ray, you do support me, I have to say. Lovely to see you. Thanks for the thumbs up, everyone. Yeah, I really appreciate you as well. I know you're always like messaging me, even when you're busy working. So I do appreciate that, Ray. Yes, really nice. So yeah, it's really nice to have supportive people, and equally it's important that you get rid of the negative people, the people that are bringing you down, that don't value your worth, that don't really want to spend that much time with you. You feel like the friendship, it doesn't have to be a relationship, it could be a friendship, and you feel it's all one-sided. Like you're putting time, energy and effort into seeing them, messaging them, video chatting, and they're not even instigating any of that. They're not even bothered about seeing you or speaking to you. You know, we want to get rid of those people out of your life, because part of self-love is seeing love for you in other people. Do you know what I mean? So it's like they reflect love back to you. Like if you care about someone, you love them, whether it's a friend or relationship, they're kind of reflecting that love back to you. So it's kind of going around in a circle, and part of self-love is actually having that person that reflects your own love back to you, if you know what I mean. So I didn't really understand this years ago. I didn't understand how a person can reflect your self-love back to yourself. It didn't really make much sense. I didn't get it. But now I do. Do you know what I mean? I get that, you know, if you put love out and you really care about someone, if people equally care about you, they'll kind of feed that back to you, and it'll be a cycle and bundle of love and happiness. It doesn't mean to say you're going to be perfect. You might pee someone off occasionally, right? But in the end of the day, you know, if you're around good people who love you, care about you, support you, and you can talk and have an open, honest conversation, it's really important. And that's another thing about being happy, you know, having more self-love and also having a happier life, is to have open and honest conversations. This is two ways. One is with yourself. So this is to be completely honest and open with yourself. Like some people will not live their true, authentic life, which is the third thing that it all comes into. So you've got to be honest with yourself and open with yourself, honest with other people and as well. And then you've got to kind of like do that as a whole bundle package of being your true, authentic self. So being honest with yourself is, you know, if you've got weaknesses, acknowledge that and accept the weaknesses as well as the strengths about yourself. You know, be honest. I mean, don't deny your strengths as well. Don't think, oh, people are so much better than me, I can't think there's anything good about me. Don't be like that. Give yourself some self-love. Support yourself, right? Care about yourself. You're going to be with yourself a heck of a long time, right? 365 days a year till the end of the earth, right? Till you're not here anymore, right? So if you don't start loving yourself and being happy with yourself, you're going to have a very rocky ride, right? And there's enough people in the world that are not giving good vibes off. You know what I mean? You don't need to do that to yourself. Don't punish yourself. You need to write down your weaknesses and strengths and, you know, focus on your strengths and with weaknesses. Accept them, but, you know, if you want to overcome them gradually, you know, but accept they're part of you. Ray, I'm always honest when I talk to myself. Oh, that's good. Sam, I'm significantly more self-loving now than I have true friends, that we care mutually about one another. It has taught me to love myself and accept myself fully. I'm so glad, Sam. I'm so glad. And I mean, I think it's a very, very important point that's often missed out of videos, for example, or even articles about self-love. Self-love, a lot of the time, I think it's kind of focused on yourself. And, you know, it does say to get good friends and positive friends, but I don't think it actually explains this kind of like self-love cycle that if you have, you know, if you love yourself, if you care about yourself, and you're then cutting off from bad people that don't care about you, and then you're getting to be around the people that love you and care about you, then that love is sort of back into you. So you're kind of like still having self-love whilst loving or caring about someone else, whether it be a friendship or relationship. Do you know what I mean? I think Tundra lies too. Aha. Yeah, but Tundra's your baby, Ray, so you'll have to be teaching Tundra better things. That Tundra, the dog learns from its master, Ray, and I know you're an honest guy, so I don't know what's happened there. Poor Tundra. So yeah, it's really important to have that in your life. And you know, I had friends that weren't really my true friends years ago. They didn't really care about me. It was all very one-sided. And you know, if there's any new people that are coming into your life, just be very, you know, like welcome them, but just be very, very conscious of how things are going, and to not get back into bad habits where you're accepting people into your life that aren't good for you anymore, because maybe you just really want some friends and you think, oh, I'd like some more friends, but just don't accept second best. You know, give people the benefit of doubt. You know, people don't, you know, it's not always close to begin with. Do you know what I mean? Some people you'll never be totally close to. You'll always have kind of like some friends that are kind of like acquaintances, more distant friends. You'll have some friends that you see more regularly, and then you'll have some really, really close friends in your life. So you do have different types of friends, which is fine. I think when anyone new comes into your life, you've got to assess like how that's working out, you know. For example, obviously on Wednesday, I mentioned in a previous video last night that on Wednesday I'm seeing a guy. right? And I don't know whether it's for friendship, possible relationship, or what, but he's not into messaging, right? He prefers verbal in-person communication. And in terms of a romantic relationship, that wouldn't work for me, you know. And it feels kind of like one-sided if he's like wanting stuff like just in person. So, but you know, he doesn't know me, I don't know him very well, and so I'm going to give him the benefit of doubt and see how it goes when we meet in person, see what he does, see what his actions are, see how he speaks to me, and see, you know, what's going on with that, you know. And it's best not to presume anything, really. I mean, I don't know why we're meeting up, really. Do you know what I mean? I don't really know if it's for business, because I met him at a business thing, if it's for dating, or if it's for friendship. I have no clue, really. It's not specified. So it's kind of like could be one of the three or all three. I have no idea. But, you know, in terms of relationship, that person's going to be absolutely no good for me if they don't text. I'm not into texting. It's like, you know, not something I'm interested in. That'll end up being one-sided, that I want something that they can't give me. So they'll be no good for me. And that's what you've got to look at friendships and relationships. Like, particularly with relationships, you've got to look at what is the person doing for you. So in relationships, we tend to always think about what can we do for the other person? How can we make them happy? You know, like, am I enough for the other person? Right. And again, this goes back to self-love, even really in a relationship, you know, it goes back to self-love, is that the more you love yourself and you realize that person's not necessarily giving you what you need, you can let go of that. Because when we think about getting into a relationship, we're all too kind of keen and eager to kind of please the other person, and maybe the person, like, does the person like us, does not person like us. And if you're wanting the person to like you, particularly more than a friend, you can kind of like change your behavior, or change how much you like stuff or want stuff in your life to match that person, because you kind of don't want to lose them. This can happen very early on in the early stages, so you want to be very mindful of that and like stop yourself doing that as early as possible if that's the way it's headed, you know. Because you don't want to get into a cycle again where that person's like kind of on a pedestal and you're lower than them, and what they say goes. You don't want that one-sided type of relationship or friendship. So be very careful in the early days. What happens, you know, like I'll be keeping an eye on myself on Wednesday, and that's all again to do with self-love, is to do with self-reflection, you know. It's being honest about yourself and about the other person. So being honest with yourself is, if I go and meet this guy, which I'm going to be doing on Wednesday, is for me to reflect on my own behavior, my own thought, my own actions, and how I interact with him. Like, am I saying stuff to please him? Am I saying stuff because I'm aesthetically attracted to him? I mean, obviously I don't know what's going to happen yet, because it hasn't happened, you know, but I need to be reflecting on that as it happens and afterwards, you know, to decide whether I'm doing the best thing for me. Sam, I had many one-sided friendships in the past. Now I only pursue more meaningful relationships. I give most people a chance, but if there's no substance to friendship, I move on. Yeah, Sam, I think it's a very good idea. I think it's a very good idea. Do you know what I mean? Because there's no point in wasting time. I mean, really, your true friends, usually you can, you know, you can have one or two hands usually in your life. That's how they normally say it works. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, I've got you as my best friend. I got Andy as my best friend. Debbie is my best friend, who's my female friend. But there's you three. I haven't really got any other people that I'm really close to. I mean, Ray, I do get on well with. I mean, Ray's always messaging me, so I guess I get on really well with Ray as well. But do you know what I mean? You're the only people really in my immediate circle. Everyone else that I know of, you know, isn't such a good friend. But I mean, you know, it doesn't mean to say that you know, that I don't want to see some friends again. But it's like, you know, I tend to see them at asexual meetups. Really, it's not someone I really would see usually outside of meetups that much, I guess. But sometimes I do see other people outside of meetups. So yeah. But you know, I always assess yourself and assess the friendship, and I think it's a really good thing. I message you even if I'm chasing bad guys. Yes, Ray. I'm like, get back to work. You shouldn't be messaging me when you're busy chasing bad guys. Honestly, I couldn't believe it. I did think to myself though. I mean, I wish like more guys were like you in terms of relationship, you know, because a lot of guys are like, oh, I you know, like I'm busy working now. I'm not going to speak to you for hours on end. And then you're the opposite. You're chasing bad guys messaging me. So honestly, it was so funny. It wasn't funny because bad guys are not funny, but it was funny the whole situation that Ray's there. He's on a call out to do with a dog that was, you know, not being very well looked after by its owner, right? And that's putting it mildly. And so Ray needed to get this guy and catch him in the act of not being good to his dog. And he's messaging me, like video messaging me while he's supposed to be doing his work. Crazy, crazy guy, aren't you, Ray? But thank you. It's nice that you show me what you do. But I was like kind of a bit shocked. I was thinking, get the guy. Don't worry about me. Sam, I have 3 also, and I have made some good connections through some meetup groups. It's good. It's really good. Yeah, I think, 3's a good number. But yeah, I mean, if you get more good friends or best friends, it's all good. But I think when we get a relationship, hopefully that person will be like a best friend to us as well. But at the moment, I'll be honest, I much more value my friendships. I see friendships as long lasting, whereas a relationship could come and go. I didn't used to think that way, but my mind's completely changed now. It's like, no, the friendships, the really deep, meaningful friendships are the ones that stay. A relationship could come and go. I don't want a relationship to just come and go, but you know what I mean? It's kind of likely to happen, unfortunately, in this day and age. But at the moment, I'm just not bothering about that. But so yeah, I think what else have I wrote on my thing? Oh yes. Yeah, so I said about letting go of people that are no good for you. Like this includes like Facebook friends. If you've got some toxic Facebook friends, I had a guy who I didn't know very well. He started messaging me this month, and he just started writing really, really strange things. And it wasn't to my liking, I don't want to change the guy. If he's like that, that's fine. But at the same time, I like, I shouldn't be expected to change my ways just because that person wants to speak to me a certain way. In any relationship or friendship, you have boundaries, and both should be equally respected. And one person shouldn't want to try and change the other. And sometimes you meet some people in your life and you just don't, you don't actually gel that well. And you are different types of people, and you're not going to get on long term. And you have to, the thing is to be honest with them and say, this isn't working out for me. Sometimes rather than just blocking someone, just say this, if the person's okay with you, just say this isn't working out for me. This is not what I want. This is not the type of friendship I want. This is not the type of relationship I want. And have an open, honest communication with that person. I mean, obviously some people that get nasty, you just have to block them. There's no point in wasting your life on them. But with someone who's talking calmly to you at the time, then, you just say it's not working out for me. It doesn't mean to say they're wrong or you're wrong. It just means to say that you're wrong for each other. And that, again, is part of self-love and having a happier life. So, it's like some people, they might not like this channel. It's fine if you don't like this channel. Go to all the other channels. Go somewhere else. It's fine. I don't expect to be liked by everyone or the channel to be liked by everyone. That's fine. There's plenty of channels out there. Like, not everyone likes everything. Do you know what I mean? I don't like horror films. The majority of asexuals like horror films. I don't like horror films. But I've still got people in my groups that watch horror and stuff. That's fine. Obviously, if I was getting into a relationship, I wouldn't want to be with a guy who loves watching horror movies, because it would just like, I don't like that type of thing. It's a really big problem for me. I get nightmares and stuff. It's horrible. So ideally, I wouldn't want that. Boundaries are very important. Not everyone is compatible for a friendship or relationship. Be true to yourself. Yes, Sam, that is exactly right. Boundaries are very, very important. This guy the other day, he was saying stuff and I wasn't happy, and I was saying I don't want to be spoken to like that. It's not good. If you want to speak like that and talk about these type of things, go somewhere else and do it. And I'd said to him before, he's like, I don't want a relationship. I want to, when I have a relationship with you. And then the next message he's going, I don't want a relationship with you. So it got a bit confusing, but I'm like, this just isn't working out for me. And sometimes that's the way it is. Things just don't work out. It's not that person's bad or you're bad. It's if they try and make you bad, which some people do. They don't like the fact you're honest and open with them and telling them this is not working, and they want to try and push you to be like them, And when people think that you should change and you're the person that's got to change, they've got to equally change if they think there's any change involved. You shouldn't want to try and change you. Some people think, oh, everyone else should change. And it's like, well, you should change too. Do you know what I mean? If you're not prepared to change too, then don't expect other people to change. They just part ways. I've had to do that a few times in my life. It's not working out. We're not right for each other. We're not compatible for friendship or relationship. And that's perfectly normal and good, to realize that, because there's so many people in the world. You know, when I years ago when I had counselling, I went actually for one counselling session. That place I was referred to. I only ever had one there, and they said for me at the time to be around people who have my thinking, you know, that are like-minded, that are like me. Now, back then, I didn't have self-love, and back then I was kind of like, well, that's not right, because how can I ever start liking different people, people that are different to me? How can I ever get on with different people? How can I ever, like, you know, kind of change myself? You know, and how's that gonna, it's not gonna be a good idea. You know, why are they telling me to do that? Have people like me? They should be telling me to go and find different people so I can expand my mind and all the rest of it. But actually that person was absolutely true. They were spot on, and I didn't realize it. And the reason they were spot on is because now I've got like-minded people. I'm not saying everyone's exactly the same. That's not the thing. It's like-minded is when a lot of the main things that your kind of values, beliefs, and that you have are very similar, if you know what I mean. A friend of mine said I should put more colour on my, so I bought a camouflage crossbow. Right. A friend of mine said I should put more colour on, so I bought a camouflage crossbow. That's hilarious. That's very funny. That is very funny. I can't even remember what I was going to say now, right? You completely put me off. I don't even know what I was talking about. It's just like really, really funny. Completely on your wall. I completely lost my train of thought now. I should have finished my conversation first. What was I talking about? People? It's late at night. What was I talking about? I was talking about oh man, I hate this when this happens on live stream. Your mind just wanders off. Oh yeah, I was talking about the counsellor. That's right. So I was on about the counsellor, and they said I should be around like-minded people. Now at the time, I didn't have self-love, right? And I was thinking, oh, that's wrong. I should be around different people to broaden my horizons. But they were absolutely true, and I didn't listen to them. And I wish I had, because I think my life would have been happier back then. You know, so it's not wrong to be around people that are like-minded. You know, I got as a child made to think it was wrong that I wanted people to be like me. That I was made to think that having someone who agreed with me was a really bad thing. Therefore, no one should agree with me. Therefore, I should be getting people who disagree with me. But that is not the way to be in life. You don't want to be around people who are going to disagree with you all the time and have completely different mindset. It's okay to have some healthy disagreements, some healthy discussions, you know, but you don't want people that are polar opposite to you all the time, because you just like, it's like fighting all the time. And it's like, you can't connect with that person. The person's never going to understand you, and you're just going to feel so misunderstood that you're just going to get upset all the time. It's actually not, you know, so that counsellor was right. And I wished I'd listened to them back then. And so instead of like pushing away, I wished I'd had more self-love back then, and thought, yes, that person's right. If I had more like-minded people, people who could understand me, people I could connect with on a deep emotional level like I've got now, then my life would be better, because I'd feel supported. I'd feel cared about. I'd feel, I don't like the word normal because I'm not normal, but I guess I'd feel more like being in this world was a good thing, and more like, you know, like I had a sense of place, which I didn't have when I was a kid. I felt like no one understood me. I felt like completely alienated, like an alien. I felt really cut off from the world, and I was suicidal years ago. In my head, I was like, I wanted to die a lot of the time, you know? And so if I'd have listened to that person, my life would have been better, I think, you know? But I was always brought up to think, oh, you know, people who agree with you, you know, you just want someone to agree with you all the time. And that it was a really bad thing, people agreeing with me. And I was made to be wrong for that, you know? So I was always wanting the opposite, because I thought, I can't, you know, just focus on people who agree with me, be like-minded, because that's such a bad thing, and I'll be a bad person for that, you know? And I won't be a good person. But it's actually the complete wrong thing. Wrong advice. Now I've got people who are like-minded, who I can relate to, who understand me. I am so much happier. I'm more comfortable in myself. I'm more happier in life in general. And I just feel so much better and good, you know? So if you want to have a happier life, you know, be around like-minded people. Actually, as time went on, I realized that people just, you know, are better off with the majority of the time sticking with people that, you know, that do, you know, that can challenge them in new ideas, but that predominantly have the same values, beliefs, and morals, because then you live in harmony more with your friends and people in relationships in your life. You know, if you've got someone like, it's if you've got a sexual and asexual person together, right, you can work, you know. But if you've got someone who's asexual, who hates sex and anything to do with sex, and hates all sexual stuff, and then you've got a sexual friend who's promiscuous and flaunting sex all the time, everything like that might not work out. I mean, although I'm a sex repulsed asexual for myself, I don't really care if people have sex, other people have sex if they like it and stuff. But what I do find difficult is if there's someone who's like trying to have sex with someone who's already in a relationship with someone else. I do find that a bit difficult to accept, to be honest. But you know, you kind of have to mind your own business doing that. But you know, if I had someone, like, say I had a male friend and he kept being really sexual towards me, that wouldn't work out, because I don't think you should be sexual to someone who's just your friend. Do you know what I mean? So that's like a value belief. And say I had someone who was cruel to animals, I hate that. I couldn't be friends with someone who's cruel to animals, you know. I mean, Ray's the opposite. Ray's lovely with animals. Sam, about people that are similar minded, yeah, I keep doing that to you. Hi Sean. So yeah, so it's so important to be around people that are very, very like-minded, that you can relate to, that you have shared goals, in some way, shared mission. Even if your goal is just to develop a really, really good friendship, do you know what I mean? Normal, yuck, I shall never be such. It took me 35 years to realise that I should be around like-minded people morally and respect-wise. Yeah, exactly. I'll never be normal as well. But I do feel that if you're around like-minded people, I do feel if you're around like-minded people, that you kind of feel like you're more like, how can you put it? You're more normal with those people. Like, do you know what I'm saying? I don't want to be normal. I'm quirky. I'm different. But it's like, quirky is the new normal. Like, being not normal is the new normal. Do you see what I'm saying? So you know what I mean? But because I'm around like-minded people now, I feel a lot more comfortable. But I mean, I did have to work on my own for a lot. So basically, in 2011, split with my long-term ex, and then in 2012, I purposely decided to be happy being single and reprogram my mind to be happy being single. So I worked on myself a lot before I had really such amazing friends, you know. I had to work on myself a lot. I had to discipline myself. So what are we discussing about asexuality today? I'm new to all of this. Well, asexuality is a sexual orientation that's a lack of sexual attraction. And today we're talking about self-love, how to get more self-love and happiness into your life. I've already gone into a lot of it already. Sean, you've missed quite a bit, so you'll probably have to watch the replay. But yes, I'm talking about things that help you self-love and have a happier life, which so far, in summary, have been to be honest with yourself, about your weaknesses and strengths, and really honest with yourself about your feelings, emotions about certain situations when you meet people. And this is what I'm telling you now. So how to self-love, this is what I'm telling you now. So you need to be honest with yourself. You know, being honest with yourself is part of self-loving. And then being honest with other people, being your true authentic self. So being yourself regardless of what anyone else says, thinks, or does. Realizing that certain people you get on well with, and realizing there's other people that you just don't click with, that are completely different to you, that have different moral standards and beliefs, and therefore you're not compatible to be friends or in a relationship, and to let each other go. You know, part of self-loving is having good, honest, open communication with yourself and other people, and being realistic with yourself in terms of like what your wants, needs, likes and dislikes are. My emotions when meeting new people are so hard to explain. Sometimes I feel the urge to no, I never feel the urge to harm people. Never feel the urge to harm people. Sometimes I want to hug them, you know what I mean? Well, no, I don't feel that way. Ray, I like being nuts and crazy. Yeah, it's good fun. It's really good fun. So yeah, basically, you know, it's really good to be your true authentic self and to be around like-minded people and to let people go who are negative, not good to be around in your life, and who you just don't gel with. Sometimes it's not about them being wrong. It's not about them. It's not about them being wrong. It's not about you being wrong. It's just that you're not good for each other. So you might not be bad people, just that you're not good together. And it's perfectly fine and adult to realize that, and to take a step back from that and think, well, yeah, we just don't get on well. Just like politely say, this isn't working out for me, and part your separate ways. Another way of self-loving, obviously, is to spend time with yourself. Spend time, cut off from social media completely, even if it's just an hour or so. It could be longer. Spend time reflecting on your life, different aspects of your life, relationships, friendships, life mission, goals, ambitions, dreams, your spiritual soul, all the different major aspects of your life, and reflect and what you'd like to happen, say, in the coming month, or 2 months, half a year, a year. What do you want to change in that aspect? What do you want to get better at? What do you want to actually improve on? And what's working out for you and going really well? What isn't working out for you so much and going really well? So this is where self-reflection comes in, and that you really, really need to be taking that time out for yourself to reflect, and just spending time with you alone, without TV on, without music on, without lots of stuff, just pen and paper and silence, basically, like you're journaling, or just write on a piece of paper. Have a journal. It's very good for self-love. Get all your thoughts, problems out. If you've got a situation you're not sure about, write the pros and the cons to it, and do it very logically and systematically, so that you really can reflect on your life, because self-love is about looking after yourself and reflecting on life and where you want to go in life. If you've got no aim to go anywhere, then it's not going to be good. So it's very important to have aims in your life, and to kind of sort your mind out, because it's very easy to get your mind jumbled with all the social media stuff going on, and that's the last thing you want. You want your mind to be so clear as much as possible. So sometimes you just need to debrief yourself. You just need to have a kind of a splurge on the page, as it were, and write down all the sorts of things that are going through your mind, and kind of the different areas, major aspects of your life. Write down, pen and paper, what's working out so far, what isn't working out, what you're going to do about it during this next year, really, including the next months coming up, next 6 months, and then for the entire year, really. So you're always focusing on something, and you're focusing on what you really want to do with your life, because that's part of self-love, is knowing what you want to do. And if you don't know what you want to do, then make it your mission to find out what you want to do some voluntary work, do some work experience, take a new course, do something different. Do you know what I mean? Another part of self-loving is obviously self-dating, which I've mentioned a number of times on this live stream before. Self-dating is so important, because it reconnects with you as the soul and being. It really, really gets you back to the roots of who you are and what you were born to do. I love my alone time with my projects. They do me the world of good. Also, in the last year, I've been much more reflective on spiritual well-being, and I've felt so much better in myself. Wow, that's really good. I think it's important to have a passion in life, like my creative universe I have, but anything that you love. It's very, very good. Yeah. And I felt so, yeah, spiritual well-being is really, really good to take care of. It's very, very important. And yeah, it's important to have a passion in your life and anything you love, and when you write down stuff that's meaningful to you, what you want to happen in the next 6 months or a year, when you write down all that stuff, it gives you focus. It gives you focus on what you love and what you want to do. And when you're self-loving and want a happier life, you do need to focus on yourself. I mean, some people go, oh, it's so selfish to focus on yourself. Actually, it's an act of self-love. You should always love yourself. So, you're spending 365 days a year with yourself. You're spending a heck of a lot of hours with yourself and time. And if you don't spend that time with yourself and quality time, getting to know yourself, loving yourself, and fulfilling your goals, ambition, and dreams, you're not going to be a whole person or feel good around other people. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be giving off negative vibes. You want to be happy. When you're happy in yourself and you're on your mission to do whatever you want to do, and you're just feeling absolutely fantastic and awesome, You know, that's when you really start shining your light, and other people will automatically be attracted to you anyway, whether that's friendship or relationship, just because you know you're shining your own light. But the most important thing is that you're shining your own light for yourself. You know, that when you come home or when you're in your own home, you're really feeling blessed and happy. And this is another thing: self-love and having a happy life is being thankful and grateful for what you've got in life. So you know, like even the small things, and like the roof over your head, food in your belly, you know, great friends, but any little thing, you know, like be grateful for hot water. Some people in foreign countries, they don't have any hot water, you know. Some people don't have any clean drinking water. Some people don't have food. Some people are living on the streets. Do you know what I mean? So yeah, you know, you've got to be grateful and thankful for everything in your life, you know, absolutely everything in your life, you know, that you can possibly be very grateful and thankful. So wake up in the morning saying, you know, I'm grateful for the roof over my head, the food in my belly. I mean, I love the home decor I've got here. I love my pictures on the wall. I love my cuddly toys. Right now in life, I'm really happy. I'm happy being single, having great friends. Everything's really good. So, you know, part of self-loving is focusing on the positive aspects and being less self-critical, you know, trying to stop the negative self-talk about I haven't done this right, I haven't done that right, you know, or I still should be doing this. You know, I'm guilty of this. You know, I can be very self-critical, but I have to stop myself sometimes and counteract that with positivity and saying, you know, you've done loads, you know, you've done loads. You know, you've done loads, and you've come so far in your journey. You know, there's tons of more stuff you want to do, but you've got to kind of take stock of your life and realize what you have achieved in your life. So, you know, celebrate the small wins and the big wins. You know, be grateful and thankful and celebrate your achievements and successes. This again is how you live a happier life and have more self-love, by celebrating your small wins and by celebrating your big achievements as well and all your successes. You know, if you do get depressed, like, and you manage to get up and have a shower and get dressed, you know, that's going to be a success for you probably. You know what I mean? And praise yourself for having the courage to do that. You know, people find it so much easier to be self-critical than to be self-positive. I totally agree with you, Sam. You know, you know, it is like, it's mind chatter, it's negative mind chatter, and it can, you know, it can happen quite a bit, especially if you're a perfectionist, or if you were heavily criticized by other people maybe in the past. You've got a kind of habit of thinking you're not good enough. You know, and the mind clutter and the mind chatter, I haven't done this yet, I haven't done that. But if you really look back at your life, if you're a person like me who does achieve quite a lot in their life, even though I find that sometimes I go a bit slower than I should do and I start being critical of myself, if I look back at my life, I'm like, my God, I've achieved so much that I never thought it possible in my life. Do you know what I mean? I mean, I'm an author with my own publishing company. I mean, do you know what I mean? I've got books in libraries throughout the UK. I've got people buying my books, you know. It's just like absolutely amazing, you know, absolutely incredible. Please tell me if you have done the writing down thing and set goals for 6 months. How has it gone? I've done the thing of where I actually only recently, like, when was it? In the last 2 weeks, wrote down what I want to do. So it's only a recent thing I've done this. My last reflection when I was poorly. So I've been doing this channel now back again for just over 10 days. So it was it's about nearly 2 weeks ago, and I wrote down all major aspects. I've already talked about this in a previous video, Sean, which you obviously haven't seen. But so far so good. Yeah, I've been writing down what I wanted to do and pros and cons of everything. So yeah, it's going good. It gives me a sense of stability. It gives me a sense of place. Cleared my mind out, and I'm knocking off my projects one by one. So I just finished my asexual meetup mastery course, which someone's got, and they're being the first one to go all through it. Then it'll be released to the general public. So that's really good. I've got that finished now. Asexual Guide to Sex book, I at least halfway through that, if not more now. So that's really, really good. So yeah, so I'm really happy in my home now. I'm really happy being single now. I realised that I'm not ready at this point in my life for a relationship. It's not good timing for me anymore, which is why I decided to detox from the dating and relationship scene for this, like this year. Predominantly, I want to focus on career. So yeah, that was really good. I'm not saying if the right guy came along, I wouldn't, like have the opportunity, but you know what I mean. I'm not gonna like, if an opportunity presents itself, I'm not gonna be like, like looking a gift horse in the mouth and not going for it. But in terms of relationship, I can't just be in a relationship with someone anyway. I'd have to know them for a long time. So I'm not going to be in a relationship this year anyway, am I? Unless I decide to have an insane moment like I've done in the past, which I don't intend to do. I have been creating my own universe for nearly 80% of my life and have been promoted to several managerial roles throughout my work life. Plenty to be proud of. Oh, hi, John. Nice to see you. Yes, Sam, that is really something to be proud of. Really something to be proud of. I mean, in my life, I've saved someone's life, which people don't really know about, many people. Some people do watch this channel. I was in the paper for it. I've met Her Majesty the Queen at St James's Palace in London in the UK and spoke to her. I've obviously got, I've got this Asexual Perspective book I published in 2017. It still sells today regularly. So that's under my own publishing company of Quirky Books. So I became my own publishing company in 2017. I registered as an official publisher under Quirky Books. So I'm official UK imprint. So that's really nice. I mean, I got my fibromyalgia self-help handbook out last year. This is my author copy, which is why it's got this across it. But you'd get a new one. So I did that, which was I packed all my learning since being diagnosed with fibromyalgia in 2014. I've packed everything I know into this book about how to manage it, to have less pain, more energy, and feel happier, like a superhero rock star, baby. So yeah, so that was like took me, that's like 5 years of knowledge in there. No, sorry, 2012 I was diagnosed with fibromyalgia. 2014 when I was found out I was asexual. So yeah, it's 6 years this January. This gone, I've had fibromyalgia. I was diagnosed with it. So yeah, so it was nearly 6 years of knowledge packed into this. So is that right? I can't add my maths up. No, nearly 8 years. Sorry. 2012, January 2012, I got diagnosed with fibromyalgia. So we're in 2020 now. So that's 8 years. My maths isn't very good. So yeah, I packed in nearly 8 years into this because it came out last August in ebook and was it October in print, something like that, or September in print. I can't remember. But it was August. It came out in the ebook anyway. And so like basically it was like 7.5 years since 2012, and then 2014 I found out I was asexual, and then this came out in 2017, and I'm working on my second book for asexual, which is called Asexual Guide to Sex, which is incredible. I can build websites, I can do video editing, lots of video editing, create online courses. So obviously I've got the Asexuality Basics for Beginners course as well. That's free down below. Like it took me 6 months to learn how to use iMovie, 6 whole months on one-to-one training. I didn't understand it for 6 months, and all of a sudden it just clicked, and then I was showing the instructor stuff that that he didn't even know on the last session. So, and I saw him the other day in the Mac store. I said, "Do you remember you taught me iMovie? I didn't know how to use it, and now I use it all the time." I mean, the course I've created, the Asexual Meetup Mastery, it's about 70 videos or more. Do you know what I mean? I mean, that takes a lot of editing when you got like 2 hours, 40 minutes footage and you're editing down small videos. And it's not just that, it's hours of videos. I was like, one video was 2.5 hours that I had to put into loads of other videos. Another one was like nearly 2 hours. Another one was like an hour. And, there's been so many. And it took me since September to do that. And I've only just finished it. So it is incredible. So yeah, maybe you should be a teacher if you are so good at everything. I am an online trainer. That's what I do. I teach people on here. I coach people on here for free a lot of the time. And I'm an online trainer, and I'm going to have more courses coming out. But yeah, I'm going to have another channel out this year as well to do with another niche. And I used to be a teacher for the recovery learning community, which is part of the NHS. So I was a peer trainer, I was known as. I got a teacher trainer qualification, PALS level 4. So I've got an official teacher trainer qualification, as well as having experience of teaching. I used to teach in a classroom. I used to teach people who had mental ill health to recover, help their recovery with blogging, stuff like that. So yeah, I used to, be in front of class, prepare all my sessions and everything. So yeah, wow. It's really good. So yeah, like I said, I'm on online training now, which I'm going to be doing more and more courses. So it's all good. Did I go to uni? No, I stayed on longer at college. I got offered to go to uni, but I didn't go. But I've been training in personal and professional development now since 2012. Yeah. Personal and professional development since 2012. So for 8 years now, I've been training personal and professional development, which is why I've got a new channel that's going to be coming out as well. But I'm still going to be doing this channel. So I love this channel. So I've got 8 years entrepreneurial experience. Obviously writing experience is my hugest passion. I had another book come out, but it's not in print. It's only in ebook, Breakthrough Barriers of Redundancy to Get Back into Work. And they said, how do you guide? That took me 2.5 years to do that book. Now I can do a book in about a year. So I've really improved. So yeah, I know a lot of stuff. Yeah. So I did get offered to uni, but I turned it down. I turned down one of the best universities in the whole of the country for what I wanted to do. I used to be a radio presenter for hospital radio as well, so I've got radio presenting experience. I have been on TV twice. I've been on Channel 4 on a show that used to be called The TV Show, Debating Big Brother. I was actually against it because I didn't like the thing. And I've been extra in Torchwood, Series 1, Episode 13, End of Days it's called. You can still see it on the internet. So yeah, that was paid acting work. So I've done some acting work. So that was really, really good. Really, really good. So I really, really enjoyed that. Yeah, so I've done quite a lot in my life already, I got a local business award as well for Beat Redundancy Blues. I used to work for Health Buddy, for community service volunteers. I got a certificate from that as well. I've done lots of courses. So after I stayed on at college and got a diploma in administration after my A levels, but I've done teacher training qualification. I've got a PELS level 4 information advice and guidance diploma, so I'm fully qualified to advise people. I've done a coaching course with the Coaching Academy, weekend live coaching course. I've done some basic counselling skills course. I have a lot of qualifications. I've done Adobe courses, got certificates in them, got quite a lot of IT qualifications. Now to build my own website using WordPress. So yeah, I mean, when you're part of self-loving and making yourself happy, you need to list all the things that you've achieved, like all the sort of stuff. And I mean, I've just gone past 100,000. Well, I've got nearly 100,500 views I've had on this channel now over. So do you know what I mean? 100,000 is amazing. I've gone over that already by about 500. So I'm really, really pleased with this channel. I didn't think, I didn't even dream that I would be having so many views years ago. So it's so many views for asexuality is really, really good, And I get private message saying this book particularly changes people's lives. Like they felt lonely and they had no one to relate to. They felt like couldn't be themselves, didn't fit in, and it really helped their life. And they feel they can be themselves now, which is again part of self-love and being a happy life is being your true authentic self, not worrying about what people think or say or do, just being who you are. As long as you're not harming anyone else, which is the main thing, isn't it? Then that's fine. And so just really enjoying now as well. That's another thing I'd like to say before I wrap up, is being mindful of the now. So it's very important to look to the future, like the future 6 months and 12 months, and to be very going for your goals, ambitions, dreams. But you can become, if you're not careful, you can become dissatisfied with your current life, right? And that's not what you want, because any of us could die tomorrow or in an instant, right? So you don't want to be thinking that way. You want to be appreciating and being happy with everything you've got in life right now. So maybe you're not living in the best house that you could live in, or maybe you've not got the best job that you could have, or maybe there's something that's not quite up to your satisfaction in life, or maybe you've not got the type of clothes you want to have, or maybe the haircut's not quite right. It's something, just be happy with the moment, be happy with everything right now, be happy with your home now, where you are in life, be happy with as much money as you've got, be happy with the food you've got in the cupboards, be happy with your circumstance now. Live in the moment. Don't always look so much to the future that you don't live for now. Like I go out clubbing, as you know, because I like living in the now as well. I like to think that life is beautiful. I'm an energetic girl. I like dancing. It makes me feel good. And so I like to enjoy the now, not just like the future. Like if I think it's important with money to save money for the future, but also to use some money now so that you're not living so much for your future that might never happen. Do you know what I mean? So it's really important. Sam, I was a Cub Scout leader. That was an achievement for me too. Wow. Several managerial project roles throughout your life. Yeah, creating your own space universe and being a scout leader. Wow, that's amazing, Sam. You've done so much. Congratulations. I still the top archer where I live. Congratulations, Ray. Yeah, Ray's a really good, amazing archer. He gets loads of trophies. He rescues dogs, saves them from harm. And that's incredible. Such a special gift. And Ray can rehabilitate dogs that were in bad conditions before, can't you, Ray? So incredible. And Sam's a very, very kind, caring person as well. Easy to get on with. So yeah, you've done loads, Sam. That's great, Ray. I can't even throw a dart, laugh out loud. Oh, it's funny. I mentioned to Andy when I saw Andy that I used to have a dartboard at the back of my door when I was a small kid, rather than older in birth certificate kid like I am now. But yeah, so I like playing pool as well and snooker sometimes, which I haven't done for years. I'm not great at it all the time, but it can be quite good fun. But yeah, so I've tried archery once, but because of my fibromyalgia, it hurts my arms. I can't really do it much. It's too heavy for me. When I lift something up for a long period of time, it hurts my arm. It's the way it is. So I mean, you just have to that's what I mean. You have to accept things as they are. Like, don't fight against them. If something's like with my fibromyalgia, I never fight against my fibromyalgia. My fibro is one of my best friends, actually. You've got to learn to embrace your differences. Embrace, if you have a disability, embrace it as part of you and use it to your advantage. Use all the advantages. There's advantages in everything, believe me. Now, I know a lot of autistic people. They have lots of other special attributes. They can do a lot of projects, actually. They can get a lot of work done, but they're very, very good at managing their time in different projects. Sam, my dad's house used to have lots of holes in the conservatory ceiling where I attempted to play darts a lot of times. Oh, bless you, that's really funny. That's really funny. Well, at least you attempted it, and that's the thing as well as self-loving and being happy. It's good to try new things and don't be afraid of I don't believe there's anything such thing as failure, right? I don't believe you can fail in life. I believe there's just challenges you can overcome or lessons you learn from. I believe you can try something, and if it doesn't work out, you're just like, well, I tried it, that's it. Do you know what I mean? Obviously, things you have to be persistent at as well. But some things like I bought some software a long, long time ago, right? Really expensive software. And well, it was expensive for me at the time, and it's supposed to work. I've got a 15 license to use it. It costs 15 my websites. I can't use it with any of them. Really, it's a waste of money. I you know what I mean? I can't use it with any of them. It was too late to get my money back. So you can only try these things for 28 days and get a refund. And I actually I had their tech support, but they didn't do anything. And after that, the time was up. So it's a waste of money, really. But I don't look at it. I look at it, well, you tried something. It should work. It works for loads of other people. It just doesn't work for you. Move on and find something else. And I have moved on and found something else. Do you know what I mean? It's just some things happen sometimes. You buy some stuff. It doesn't work out. That's not right for you. You're just like, okay, I tried it. Do you know what I mean? Otherwise, you never get anything done in your life. Don't live in fear too much. Face your fears head on and push through them anyway and try new things. And, it can be scary, but, part of self-loving is pushing your own boundaries sometimes and and basically fighting for yourself and experiencing new things for you because you want to grow yourself and develop yourself as a person. Sam, I have also volunteered for several charity organisations in the past. Yeah, that's really good, Sam. When I did hospital radio, that was voluntary. I did that for a long time. I used to go around the wards. Kids show I did for quite a long time. I've done an older people's show as well. And I used to go around with the kids and buy them presents, like gifts out of my own, like prizes basically out of my own money. So I used to answer questions on air and I used to go and give the prizes out afterwards. And some of them were on dialysis as well. John, that's what I found after I studied to be a gemologist. It just wasn't me. Oh, a gemologist. A gemologist, John. Wow, that's incredible. I'm really intrigued to know more about that. A gemologist. And I'm glad, like you found that out, and sometimes you do. Sometimes you have to try something in your life and you just have to like try it to know it's not right for you, Ray, I'm doing an axe throwing contest next week. I'll make sure that I'm nowhere near you then, Ray. No thanks. Don't like sharp objects. Sam, and now I'm pushing myself to get out and meet more new humans at various meetups around the UK. It's good. It's very, very good. You're doing really well. What is a gemologist? I presume it's someone who studies gems, is it? John, it sounds very, very interesting. A gemologist. Very, very interesting. Yeah, good luck, Ray. I'm sure you'll win. Everyone will quick duck. give him the prize. No, I know you do really well. A student of the science of gem materials. Wow. That sounds very intelligent, actually. Very, very intelligent. It's really good, It's like last year I got rid of quite a lot of my other websites I don't use anymore. I still got their social media like Twitter and Facebook accounts because I get more people liking and sharing my content and interested in that than the website. Not my asexualized one though. My asexualized one is very popular. You get people visiting that all the time. And obviously all my asexual brands I keep, but there's some like last year I have for years. I'm not really doing anything with them because I'm more likely pursuing the asexual work I do. Books. I keep my book sites, my own sites, and that type of thing. And I've got 2 more new brands coming out as well. 3 more new brands coming out, and that'll probably be enough for me. John, usually you find them working in the jewelry industry, shops and such, or in gem labs. Wow, sounds interesting. But I did a basic counselling skills course at college. But I decided that I didn't want to pursue counselling because it's 5 years to study and you're not supposed to tell a person obviously what to do, and you've got a script to work from, and I can't work under those conditions. That's personally not me. I prefer to be a coach / mentor that actually asks people questions about themselves but also tells them advice because I'm good at giving advice. Do you know what I mean? And so I don't like working from a script. It just seems so clinical and so like pushing people into certain things. I just didn't, it wasn't me, because my parents lately said, oh, you make a really good counsellor, which is really nice and sweet of them. And it's nice that they understand that I understand human psychology quite well and relationships. But I learned a lot of the stuff I've learned through entrepreneurship. Do you know what I mean? I don't actually want to be a counsellor because I would get too frustrated probably at the people not changing, not wanting to change. Coaching's different. Coaching I like because coaching is only really should be coaching people who want to make a change in their life and paid so to do it. Do you know what I mean? Apart from I do a lot of coaching on this channel really with you guys and don't charge any money obviously. But obviously I can do private coaching as well. Awesome. Sounds very interesting. Yeah, it does sound interesting, John, but I'm glad that you found out it wasn't for you. Ray, I now have 18 bows and 2 crossbows on my wall. Oh my goodness me. I do know you love your bows. And I think, as part of self-love, you should live how you want to live. Do you know what I mean? I think it's easier to self-love actually when you're not in a relationship. I know that sounds really weird, but I think sometimes when you're in a relationship, you can lose yourself and you can become someone you're not. And I don't think that's a good idea. So really, if you are going to get into relationships, it's good to get someone you're highly compatible with in like terms of hobbies, interests, commonality, shared values, beliefs, all that type of thing, so that you're not changing yourself too much. I mean, if you're in a relationship, you're going to change somewhat anyway, because if you stay the same and don't grow and develop with them, then nothing's really going to shift, is it? Sam, definitely Robin Hood. But I do think, you can, I mean, in the past, I've lost myself in relationships. I don't want to be that way anymore. I love the life I live now, to be quite honest. I do like the single life. I do like the fact I go to sleep at like sometimes 4 a.m. in the morning. I get up at midday sometimes. I do my work, throughout the like later part of the afternoon, evening, some of the night usually. I love the fact that I live a very teenager lifestyle. Go out when I want, go dancing, have fun, just enjoy life, do my writing, do my business stuff, grow myself, and I find that very, very exhilarating, thrilling. And I do think that sometimes when you get into an actual relationship, you can lose yourself. So you've got to be very, very careful to not let your self-love go, and to not just be doing stuff that the other person wants to do at the expense of yourself, because you can end up resenting people without meaning to, because you might think, well, I love you and I want to please you, but then you can also end up resenting it if it's not really true to your soul. So I think it's very, very important to be true to who you are and to your own soul. And I think it's good, John, that you realise that it wasn't for you. It takes a brave person, like going back to the beginning of the video, to be honest with yourself, which is one of the major things of self-love, is to be completely honest with yourself about what works and what doesn't work for you. I mean, I got actually accepted into one of the top universities in the country, in the UK. Like I had to do written piece to get into Falmouth College of Arts. Falmouth College of Arts is meant to be one of the top for media production, the whole of it was back then, for the whole of the UK, right? And I did, I passed a piece of coursework which was like an exam. It was like a written piece of exam to get into the university, and applied for 2 others. One I didn't hear from. Another place said, oh, you should get in here in the interview, but I never actually did. And then Falmouth College of Arts accepted me into their media production, and I think it was broadcasting and media, something like that. And I turned them down because I didn't want to live there. I didn't want to live out in the sticks. Sticks are not me. I don't like living out in the countryside. I don't like living out near the sea. I know I'm strange like that, but I'm happy with that. I like being near the quayside because I've got the quayside in Exeter, which is 5 minutes walk from where I live, and it's like my little bit of countryside in the city. But I don't want to live. I lived near a beach for years, and I lived next to a farm. I don't want that type of life. It doesn't suit me. I don't like being out in the sticks. I don't like being out in the countryside. I don't like living that type of life. It's not nice. I mean, I keep getting adverts come up on YouTube lately going, oh, this is a new home and it's out in a rural location. It's really great. I'm like, I don't want to be in a rural location. Oh, I'm a city girl. I don't want to be. It would like really turn me off. I keep trying to get rid of the ads. I'm like, I don't want to be out in the countryside. I don't want to be out in the sticks. I don't want to be out in rural places. I like to be near the city centre where I can actually go and shop where I want, hop on a train or bus, go to the cinema, go clubbing, do what I like when I like. I like my freedom. I do not want to live that type of life again. So it does not appeal to me, rural stuff at all, like traveling and being in the countryside. It's not me. I don't like it. I know that's probably most people in the world say, I like nature. And it's like, no, I'm not really into nature. Sorry, folks, not really into nature, but it's who I am. I think that's why it's so important to be true to who you are. I know I could have never been really happy as a child being out in that type of environment because it's not me. I feel cut off and isolated and horrible. Do you know what I mean? It's like, it's not who I am. It's not who I was born to be. Sam, I want a relationship, but only if it's with someone who respects and accepts me as I am, and vice versa. Yeah, I think that's really important, Sam. And I think one of the most important things as well in a relationship is to have shared values, goals, and kind of ambitious dreams. Like, for example, what I mean by that is obviously you can have different hobbies and interests, but what I'm saying is if you've got a person that decides like in a year's time they want to go traveling around Australia and you're settled in the UK, that's not going to work out, is it? Because you're going to have to split up, or one of you's going to have to either stay in the UK or go traveling with the other one, or you're going to have a long distance relationship for a year, in which case you might never see the person again. So and beliefs, like if someone's like, I know you're not religious, are you more spiritual than religious, and you're atheist, right? But if you had someone, for example, who was a Christian but shoving Christianity down your throat, as in you've got to believe in the same thing as them, that wouldn't work out either. Do you see what I mean? So I think you do have to have like shared values, beliefs, morals, like if, for example, someone in the relationship thinks it's fine to go around like snogging other people, and even though they're meant to be in a monogamous relationship with you, and you don't believe that's right to do that, then obviously that's not going to work out. Like, I don't want a guy who's going around cuddling his friends if I was in a relationship with him, but some guys do cuddle their friends, and I'm like, okay, you can. I don't mind hugging hello and goodbye to someone, but cuddling them, no. It's a boundary that I don't accept for being in a relationship with, and it's the type of guy I don't want. So you see what I mean? These are all to do with values and beliefs and morals. Ray, I love being by the sea where I live. I know you do, Ray. I know you do. I don't like that at all. I know you love that. That's what I mean about me and you wouldn't be compatible. Because I know you like me more than a friend. You said so, but it's good for you, but I don't like that. It's totally not who I am. Because I know you said you move, but you shouldn't move because you love where you live and it's good for you. But I don't like that. I don't want to be near the sea air. I don't want to be near that type of environment again. I hated it when I was younger. I was just like, I mean, I did go to the beach sometimes. It wasn't all bad, but I lived next to a farm for years. It was horrible. I just isolated, but in general, I don't like being out in the countryside. I don't go, like, when I visit my parents, literally the seafront is in between the train and them. So literally I'll go on the seafront and wave at my grandma. Her ashes are in the sea, so I always go and wave at her, blow her a kiss. So look at the sea and then go off to my parents. Usually, not all the time, but quite a bit. So yeah, but you know what I mean? I don't want to live there. It's too small. I like living where I live. I don't want to live in that type of environment. A rule I don't like at all. It's just not me. Yeah, 2 of my exes were Christians of different denominations, and one was a Wiccan. I'm a spiritual humanist. Yeah, I think I think different religions is fine as long as you can accept the other person's religion or non-religion, and you don't try and force your religion on the other person. I know I've been friended by some people on Facebook, and literally they've been like preaching God and preaching all things Christian consistently all the time. And I know there was one guy who I asked a lot of people to like my asexualized page because he was a friend on Facebook, like you just invite friends, and he's like, why have you asked me to? This was a Christian guy. Why have you invited me to this page? Why do you think I'd be asexual? Why do you think this? I'm like, I sent it to everyone. I don't know who's asexual and who isn't, and you're on my friends list, so I sent it to you, and I just defriended him. But do you know what I mean? It's like I said, I mean, I don't like cruelty to animals, but if you're with someone who's cruel to animals, it ain't really going to work out, is it? So I think you have to have someone who is like-minded in quite a lot of ways, who you have shared interests with, and who you don't have to change too much for in order to get on well with them. Because if you have to change, I mean, obviously in any relationship you might have to adapt a bit to each other, because the thing is, if I'm on, for me, it's going to be hard as well because I'm on a night schedule most of the time. Most of the time I'm awake at night and sleeping till midday. So my working pattern, my work begins sometimes that's, I get up at midday, like I say, I go to bed at 4, I get up at midday, do my exercises, and then it might even be 3 o'clock before I start work, and then I'm busy working till 9 or 10 or 11 at night. Then I'm on the stream here, and then if I'm still awake I can do more work. If not, I go to sleep, and then I kind of so my life's taken up like that. And to be with someone who is on a different shift pattern than me is fine, but I still need them to keep in contact with me, and it's going to be we're probably only going to be in contact with each other for part of the day because they're going to be sleeping when I'm awake and I'm going to be awake when they're sleeping. So yeah, I left a lot of atheist groups due to their ridiculing of my spiritual beliefs, and have also had religious folk try to push their beliefs. It's important to respect one another. Exactly. I agree, Sam. It's absolutely ridiculous, people ridiculing spiritual beliefs. I like spirituality. I need regular contact too, so I wouldn't work with someone who didn't want that. Yeah, you're like me on that. It's good. But yeah, I need regular contact too. Otherwise, I'm like, what's the point? I may as well just stay single. You know what I mean? I may as well just talk to the wall. I mean, I find that some people, they just don't like much communication. It's like, How can you have a relationship with no communication? Do you know what I mean? It's like, well, maybe you'll be a acquaintance, but that's about it. But in a relationship, I couldn't be doing that. It wouldn't make me happy. I'd just be sacrificing my own happiness for that sake of that person. I'm not self-loving. And the person, a person I think who's really into someone will want to message them loads, speak to them loads, see them loads. A person who's really in love with you anyway. I think a person that doesn't really want much contact is someone who's not really that into you, to be perfectly honest. I think it's hard when a relationship first starts out, or friendship, because obviously they're going to be messaging you less at the beginning because they don't know you as well. So I think it takes time to build that up. But I think if a person like for example, the guy I'm seeing on Wednesday, right? I'm really put off already by the fact that he already basically is not into texting. And it's like, kind of like, okay, but I text my friends, not just a relationship. And how is that ever supposed to work out unless we just see each other as acquaintances now and again? It just is really weird. I'll see what he's got to say for himself, and and find out more about him. But it's not someone I see myself having a deep emotional connection with, because it just wouldn't happen. I need someone with some passion in their life as well, as that is something that's important to me. Doesn't matter what it is. Yeah, I'm like that, Sam. I'm the same as you, like that. I need someone that's got some, like, me and you are really good together as friends, because we're always like, like, I love it sometimes when we're messaging each other and we're like, and you're like working on Space Era in the early hours of the morning, and I'm like working on, I don't know, a book or a course, and we're messaging each other going, like, how's it going? I really like that. It's kind of really cool as well, because sometimes it's like 3 in the morning. Obviously we can't message each other all the time because we won't get on with any work, but it's kind of cool sometimes, so we can encourage each other to pursue our passions. Yeah, I think that's so important. It's very, very important. It's very important. It's important as a self-love and to be happy in life, to have your own passions and pursue them, but also to encourage each other. And that's what I really want. I need a guy, if I'm in a relationship with a guy, I need him to really support my career, because obviously I do all the way for asexuals. I'm not going to give the work up for asexuals. And if it means I can't be in a relationship because a guy is too scared or worried about me having media attention and being in the public eye, he's not the right guy for me. I'll stay single forever if I need to, because the work I do for asexuals is essential. It's really helping. I know there's not just me that does it, but my part's still valid and worth doing. It's to contribute to asexuality getting recognised more globally as a sexual orientation. I think it's so important to save generations to come of people thinking that they have to have sex in order to have love. I think it's such a bad message. I really wish more people would listen, to do with schools, that you don't have to have love and sex going together. They're two completely different things, And so I think it's so important, and asexuality is a passion of mine, right? It's a passion of mine, being in the media, being in the spotlight, being an entrepreneur, all that type of thing. I'm only going to be getting more and more famous with all the stuff I do. So, a guy really needs to support me in that. It's no good having a guy who's like, I can't be seen with you on Facebook. I can't be snapped with my picture with you. It's like ridiculous. An entrepreneur guy won't care about that. Usually entrepreneurs, I see entrepreneurs and they're in business, they're doing a business with their partner, like guys are doing business with their woman, and they're like, they're bigging their woman up, which is what it should be like. What you do is of vital importance for asexuality, visibility, and asexual visibility and acceptance. Thank you, Sam. I really appreciate that. Yeah, and I don't want to give that up. I don't want to get into a relationship with a guy. I like spending time with a guy, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to be in a relationship where I'm just spending time with him and I'm not doing anything productive with my life. I can't be sat watching TV. I'd rather see a guy 2 to 3 times a week max. Really, at the moment, all I could see him is once, maybe twice a week, probably once at the moment. If I was in a relationship, maybe twice, but that's a maximum I could do, at the moment, because I've got so much to do. And if I was seeing him and I wasn't getting on with my work, I'd feel like I'm not living my purpose and my passion. I'm just being held back, and I'm just like, I especially don't want to be sat there and doing Netflix. You know what I mean? I'd rather meet up with them, have a nice time out, kiss, cuddle, date, chat about the world, planet, universe, spend loads of time kissing, and then he can have, like, what, 5 days rest from my kissing. He can go back to his own place and whatever. And I have 1 or 2 days where I just full on intense, like, chatting going out, having a fun time together. But I need messaging in between. It's no good if you don't message me in between. Um, but you know what I mean, because my kissing is quite intense. So it's like, you probably need to go back to his place to have a rest. But that's fine. You can have a rest, and I'll just carry on doing my productive stuff. But yeah, I do need someone like you do to have, to encourage and passions. I actually think I'd probably be better suited to an ambivert maybe, or even an introvert person that doesn't mind going out and stuff. Because I think being with another extrovert might not work out for me. Because I do like to be the center of attention in some ways, which is being honest. Again, part of self-loving and being happy in life is being honest with yourself. And that, like, some people might think, oh, being a center of attention is bad. But if I like being the center of attention, it's not bad for me, is it? I feel good. Maybe I'm not saying I like to be a center of attention all the time, only in certain situations. But do you know what I mean? I like it. There's nothing wrong with it. You just gotta admit who you are to yourself and don't lie. Like, I know there's a lot of introverted asexuals. They don't want to be the center of attention. It's the opposite. They hate that. They're like, don't have attention on me. So I kind of think the few extrovert asexuals there are in the world, it's kind of nice if, like, don't put the attention on me, put them on that person, and they like it. So do you know what I mean? So I think it's really important to get the right type of personality. I think if you have two extroverts, I think you can clash with each other. You got to be careful. So it just depends, though, because obviously if I have an entrepreneur guy, he might be very extrovert. But actually, I found out most entrepreneurs are introverted, not actually extrovert. They have to push themselves to do things outside what they feel comfortable with in order to be an entrepreneur. I thought most entrepreneurs were extrovert, and they're not. They're introverted. So I probably would work well with one of them. So yeah. But thank you for saying what I do is vital importance. And that's why, if I get into a relationship, I really need someone who will support me in a career. I mean, I really would like, I like it when a guy, if I have a boyfriend, to come on the channel sometimes and support me, and my best friends do. Why shouldn't he do that, and actually take an active part in my life, not overtake it. I don't like a guy overtaking it, because I think when a guy, starts getting into, like, I've had guys in the past going, oh, I'll manage this, like, Twitter account for you. I'll do this for you. I'm like thinking, hang on a minute, I don't even know you at this stage. It's just weird. It's like, no, that's too much too soon. I'm not saying you can't help me out in my business in the future, but I'm not just going to hand any part of my business over to someone I don't really know. And it's weird. Do you know what I mean? And sometimes I do think it's not good to mix business and pleasure all the time. I think it's good to have your own separate businesses as well, and separate things. Do you know what I mean? Because otherwise you can feel like you're totally overridden by the other person, like you can't even have a thing of your own. I think it's very important, in life, to have your own independence and to have your own thing as well. It's just for you. I think, like, if two people are trying to do the same thing all the time, it can be very, like, unnerving. It can be like a bit like you're competing with them. So actually, I think it's better if you have complementary things you like to do, or things that are a little bit different, but like really, they just gel with each other's lives, even though they're different, and that you can take an interest in each other's work without actually pushing yourself on them, or without actually completely trying to, without competing. I don't want to be competing. I want to be loving. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, I think it's important to have some separate aspects to your life. Yeah, I do. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I think it's good to introduce people to your friends later on, if you've known your partner for you get into a relationship. I think it's very important to do that, really important. But I also think it's good to spend time with your friends on their own as well, because sometimes you just want quality time with that one friend by yourself. Do you know what I mean? So and that makes your life happier then, that you may spend some time with your friends and partner together, like if you've been with your partner a long time. But you also still want quality time with your friends alone, like they should have quality time with their friends alone as well. So, but also just don't forget to spend time with yourself alone, because you can't get to know yourself if you're not prepared to spend any time on your own with yourself. If you're not prepared to spend any time with yourself, then, like, why should anyone else want to spend time with you, And you really need to keep getting to know yourself. Like, things change for you. Things change in your life, circumstances, likes and dislikes sometimes change. And if you're not, like, sitting down journaling or writing about that and reflecting on that, it can do you more harm than good, because you kind of, maybe your life's moved on, your circumstances change, but you haven't actually taken the time and bother to reflect on that and see where you're on. And it can be a mind mess. You've got all this stuff going on and you just can't sort it out. That's why I really loved, when I was poorly, to have that reflection time, You know, I think everything happens for a reason. I think when you get sick, I think it's a time of resting, chilling out, switching off from social media, and also taking the time out to reflect on your life and really getting everything down on with pen and paper, and really kind of thrashing out your life with yourself. And it helps. It clears, makes way for new things happening in your life. It clears sort of the muddle in your mind. Sam, yeah, it's important to have your partner know your friends and spend some time with them, but also to have some time alone and time with your friends without your partner. Exactly. Perfect. You summed it up very well. Important to have time with your partner, for your partner to know your friends, spend time both together, spend some time also with your friends on your own, and spend time with you with your friends without your partner as well. You know, basically spend time on your own, time with your friends, time with your partner, spend time with your partner and your friends together, time with you and your partner together, and spend some time on your own. So it's good to have an equal balance of as much as, you know, like it's good to like if I, for example, if I'm in a relationship, I still think I need to self-date, because sometimes I just need to take time out for me, especially maybe sometimes in a relationship you don't always get on all the time. It's not realistic to think you're going to get on 24/7, 365 days a year and never piss each other off, excuse my language. So, you know, it's kind of nice sometimes to just take a breathing space, just to take some time out, or just to chill on your own. You know, just have a self-date, for example. I love going to the cinema, you know, to just take some time out for you. Sometimes you need to just shut everything out and clear out your mind. I think you just said that while I was typing. Yeah, I did say that. Great minds think alike, Sam. Yeah. You just need to shut everything out and clear your mind. Like switch off the TV, switch off the music, switch off the social media, and just have a pen and paper. I mean, pen and paper is so very therapeutic. And as a writer, sometimes I don't do enough writing, you know? And sometimes, you know, you need to go and recap over things. Like sometimes in the morning, right, I have my most, or when I wake up, I'll have my most massive brain waves that are just things come to me. And if I don't write them down, I forget them, you know. And sometimes you have your best ideas just because your mind's clearer sometimes if you slept, and you just wake up and you don't speak to people straight away and don't social media straight away, because as soon as you go on social media, like, your life's not your own really. It's you got all these people coming in to your life, and pages and messages and everything and groups, and your life is not really your own. So it's important for like the first hour that you wake up really to take time for you out, you know what I mean? So do some writing. I mean, obviously, if you don't feel like you need to write, then, you know, like, do put some music on and just dance around your room to yourself, like, or, you know, like, do something that's fun, or, you know, like maybe you do want to stick, like I said, some music on. Maybe you do want to stick a movie on. Sometimes it is good to wake up and just think, oh, I want a break before I do my work. I'm going to put a movie on. If you've been working a lot, so say you've been working non-stop for 5 days, and you gotta get up and work again, sometimes you want to maybe watch a movie first and then do that, because you might feel in a better mood. Sometimes I feel in a better mood to do work when I've had some playtime and I've watched a movie. I'm like, yeah, I've got to get work done now because I've spent an hour and a half, 2 hours watching a movie. Sam, I have hundreds of notepads and pens, always making notes. That's really good. John, on my way, all, take care. Good night. Good night, John. Take care. Yeah, I'm going to sign off now anyway, because it is getting very, very late. Thank you so much for participating in the stream. Thank you, Sam, for your valid input. It was really great because you were summarising everything I was saying pretty much. So I think I'm going to leave it there for tonight. Just remember on your self-love journey to always take care of you, reflect on your life, and you know, decide what's best for you in your life, not just what everyone else wants. But it's very important to take care of you, be around like-minded people, and be true to who you are and authentic, and really get to know and understand yourself as well as possible, and spend quality time with yourself. And don't forget to look in the mirror and say, I love you, I love you, I love you, and keep doing that, because that's something else I didn't say. Look in the mirror every day and go, I love you, you're gorgeous, you're beautiful, you're amazing, and have positive affirmations all around the place. So I have affirmations about, like, you can do this, Sandra. You know, you're incredible. You can do this. You know, you've got a life purpose. No, affirmations are a brilliant thing to do to boost your self-confidence, boost your self-esteem, and actually really keep you in a positive mindset. You know, but you should always be looking, like, when you get out of the shower, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm gorgeous. You're beautiful. You're amazing. You're incredible. You're always, always, always beautiful. Do you know what I mean? Stuff like that. So positive affirmations, saying things to yourself, but looking at yourself in the mirror, writing things down all over, like, you know, I've got in front of me, I've got, you can do this, Sandra, you got this, born for a purpose, you know, and then stuff like, I'm a thought leader, I'm an influencer, I was born for a higher purpose, you know, stuff like that, and self-belief and everything like that. Anyway, yeah, so take care. Night, Ray. Night, Sam. Night, Sean. Night, John. Good night, Sandra, Sean, Ray, John, anyone else watching. Love and light. Yeah, love and light to everyone. Night. And don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already and hit that great big bell icon to get notified of every time I go live and I post a new video. Brace your quunky and each other's. Bye. Bye, Sam. Bye, everyone. Bye, Ray.